talk like that. All opinion, no facts. Better run it.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Be Skeptical. This is episode 6, where all opinions, no facts. We're two generations, infinite opinions. We are prepared to disagree or agree. Millennial dad, Gen Z son. Mm-hmm. We're going to dive into dumpster fire conversations, but we're going to look at two different generational perspectives. So if you're looking for the objective truth, you're in the wrong place. We have no answers. All opinions, no facts. So be skeptical, right? That's the theme. You don't believe everything you hear. You don't believe everything you see, specifically on social media.
Right.
You do your own research. You throw it against your wisdom, your morals, and experience. See where it sticks. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. This week, the verse for this week, we're going to say it's Matthew 7, verse 7. Keep on asking, and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking, and you will find. Keep on knocking, and the door will open for you. So it's perfect for the theme this week. I kind of came up with a couple things. It's like basically disillusionment, fatherhood, and finding ground. So we'll dive into it. Into it. So what do you do when skeptic people start feeling like they're isolated? And this is all stemming off of a comment that we got. So the comment that we got, he basically said he's questioning whether skepticism is even the right path because he feels like he's getting isolated from the people that he cares about and the people that he looked up to. So I know we've experienced that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
especially after the last election. We had some family members that didn't agree with us, and they've kind of written us off.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely understanding, and I understand that, like, isolation, because I mean, even we're isolated on some certain subjects at times. It's just, in life, would you rather follow everybody else or do what you know is good for you? Yeah. You know, skepticism is kind of like what we talked about, morals. We throw it against our morals, we do our own research. And sometimes you come across topics that you're not going to agree with everybody on.
100%. Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the fact that skepticism is the problem. Maybe you're just maybe the people around you just aren't willing to accept another opinion. You know, that's common. Or maybe the opinions you're looking at just are different. They're just so widely accepted or disliked. Mm-hmm. You know, it's going to run into problems. So that, you know, you feel like you're isolating yourself. Maybe necessarily look into yourself as well. Yeah. Maybe you're being too pushy whenever you talk about it. Maybe you're not really accepting the other side. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could definitely understand, you know, you're throwing it against your morals, but you always have to be open to accept the other side, to at least listen. Because, you know, everybody makes good points. You know, mm-hmm. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Because if you're not being skeptical in every scenario and looking at someone's other opinion and maybe the experience that they've had, you're just kind of standing on your own rock, right?
Absolutely.
And you're not going to maybe experience something new, maybe even just have the opportunity to change,
right?
In a good way,
for sure.
A good way. Yeah.
Maybe in that skepticism, you were, you know, it goes against your own morals. You know, that's why, you know, research and listening to other sides are important, because maybe you were in a wrong mentality at that point, or maybe the other person was wrong. You know, and we can help each other grow as people. You know, skepticism isn't necessarily meant to divide people. It's supposed to keep people educated,
open.
You're supposed to be able to, you know, just kind of like I talked about, kind of like vibe around, kind of like, you know your wavelength, you know what other wavelengths, you know, maybe you can intertwine.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're not going to mesh at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of going a little further, it kind of brought into something of your awareness. I thought about how, you know, your awareness can change through your life. You're not going to have the same awareness as a small child as you would as a 40-year-old like me.
Oh, absolutely.
Things could change. You can be more observant and more aware. Doesn't mean you're in disillusionment. and maybe it's not the path of the people around you, but it doesn't mean you're going to lose your like purpose.
Right.
It could change your purpose into a better way.
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So once you start questioning things, I feel like it's hard to unsee what you've seen and discovered. Does that make sense to you?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I mean, that point you make, yeah. I mean, whenever you start questioning things, you're going to want answers. You know what I mean? And maybe you don't find answers and you're just like, man, I can't get that out of my head, And like we said, do your research, throw it against your morals. If you can't find an answer, I always say pray, ask God for an answer.
Yep.
Do your own research, the best you can at least.
Yeah. On real sources, though.
For sure.
Real
Make sure
sources.
it's credible.
Yep.
It's not opinionated. Don't go off of editorials. Go off of maybe.
I mean, you don't have to hit it like a scholared post all the time,
Right.
but don't be just getting all your information off of Reddit, right?
Yeah, no.
I mean, you can go down the Reddit black hole, and you'll find yourself so far away from the real path
You'll
because it's
see-
just so crazy down
No,
there.
literally.
Yeah, and I even wrote down like Pandora's box,
For sure.
right? Pandora's box. It's old Greek mythology, but it represents the curiosity and the desire for knowledge, and it can lead to negative consequences or positive outcomes.
Right.
You never know opening that Pandora's box. It's like, you put a cat in a box and you tape that box up and you never look at it again. You don't know if that cat's alive or not.
Yeah. Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's
Schrodinger's cat. Yeah. But you open that box, for sure that cat's probably going to be laying there dead.
More
But,
often than not, but you never know.
Yeah. You
maybe
never
that
know
cat-
until you open it.
Maybe a black hole's inside that box.
Maybe. You never know.
Exactly. That's why sometimes you just gotta open the box, and then sometimes if you don't feel right about it, leave the box alone.
Yeah. You really have to feel down deep and feel your beliefs and your morals and your values. And like you said, do your research.
Exactly.
You got to do research or you're just going to follow the bandwagon.
Exactly.
Every time.
You're not.
Whichever side you're leaning like harder on, you're going to follow that side.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to be receptive to new information, maybe good information for you.
Right.
Yeah. It's like skepticism is easier when it's a meme. It's harder when you start really shaking your beliefs and it unstables the structure of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I wrote down an example. You know me, I like conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, we both do.
Well, yeah, we both do. We get in some heated conversations on those.
At
but,
times, yeah.
Yeah. But mine was like the pyramids, right?
It's a good one.
I didn't really know much about them until probably a few years ago, and I started really studying the pyramids.
Right.
Like the precision that was put in place. Like even that we could not even recreate the pyramids today to the same standard that they are.
Right.
Sure, we could make something similar, but
Absolutely.
not to the precision and how they actually aligned it to the Earth's like literally rotational, and it's like literally a miniature Earth like scaled size down.
Yeah.
And most people don't even know like the Great Pyramid.
Yeah, it's
eight-sided. It is 8-sided. It's not 4.
Yeah,
Like
and
nobody even
have you
does that.
seen the spirals that go down? That go down like
Well,
2 miles or something?
Oh, I know there's like energy spirals that gets released off of it all the time.
Right,
And
dude. The
like
pyramids are just
it's crazy. And people go crazy off of them because they are curious for that desire of the unknown and that knowledge. Because it's lost. It's lost to us. I mean, they say ancient Egyptians created that, right? But there's only basically graffiti in there saying it made by Khufu. It was just graffiti. There's no hieroglyphics. Like I still believe to this day that it was actually a source of power,
Oh, absolutely.
like a power
believe it.
source.
I mean,
yeah,
it talks about the pyramids in the Bible a little bit, kind of. Not necessarily.
I know it talks
just
a lot about Egypt.
Egypt
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, giants were mentioned in the Bible. Maybe it was giants.
Nephilim.
Nephilims or
Nephilims,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
Nephilims.
Yeah,
It could
yeah.
have been Nephilims. It could have been. I mean,
Yeah,
it could have
that's
been
a
the devil.
whole thing. Yeah,
We don't know.
or it could be a society that's lost to us today.
Exactly. That
Like,
too.
I feel like we're starting to get. I won't say dumber, but I think there's knowledge out there. It's guaranteed there's knowledge out there that's been lost.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think there's knowledge out there that was lost that was probably more advanced than what we have now. I'm not saying they had computers and all that stuff, but they probably had actual ways of doing things that we
Right.
can't recreate
I feel
today.
like they had like more, not necessarily like we have so much knowledge, yes, like you said.
Yeah.
But they had understandings of the planet that we just
We just discovered.
Exactly.
Literally within the last 100 years.
Like people in Egypt were figuring out, I mean, like they have like perfect longitude and latitudes of the pyramids, stuff like
they
that.
They align stuff to the constellations.
Exactly.
Like it's crazy.
That's insane for people. I mean, and a lot of people are like, oh, they had hundreds of slaves and stuff. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The precision that it even required to do that would require tools that are of today's standards.
I mean, we don't even have the technology to lift the stones that are at the top of the pyramid and that weigh as much as they do. Like we do not have that technology today. We may be able to build a structure to actually help us compensate for it, maybe.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the unknown can cause chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It causes chaos between people because when people are like, no, the pyramids, they were a tomb. And then other people are like, no, the pyramids were a power plant or whatever.
Right.
People are going to clash because just people aren't using, that curiosity and that desire for knowledge. They're just very set in their ways.
And that desire, like you said, they're set in their ways. They're not necessarily open to anything else. They're just like, oh yeah, it was aliens or, I mean, it could have been, I love being open because we're losing. I feel like it's not necessarily, we're becoming dumber. We're becoming so close-minded. We're losing curiosity.
Yeah.
We're losing curiosity, which curiosity truly is what leads us to knowledge.
Yeah. They're set on the facts of science that they found today. And I'm like, come on, guys. The science, new science is created and figured out every day.
Literally, every single day. I mean, you can make a new equation for how this works right now. You know what I mean?
I mean, how many times in my life, how many times they've said eggs are bad for you in my life? It's literally like flip-flops every 2 years.
Literally, I
it's
swear.
Like, eggs are good, eggs are bad, eggs are good.
Oh, cholesterol, protein. They make you fat, they make you skin. Like, there's no in between.
There's literally no in between.
Yeah.
It goes back and forth much.
There's just so much. I feel like we're losing more curiosity upon important things. You know, like, yeah, we're figuring this out, but truly, what is important to help our Earth? You know, what can bring us forward as a society, not staying exactly where we're at. And I feel like we lost that. We lost the ability to just have the curiosity to move forward as a society. You know what I mean?
new technologies that would actually advance society. I think they hold it back from us.
Yeah, because it's making things easier for us.
And people are losing money.
We're becoming lazy too.
People are very lazy. I mean, if you can make it easier for someone and it makes their life easier, man, it'll sell.
They'll take it immediately. I mean,
yeah.
I've used AI in school before. I'm not gonna say I haven't, but I try my best to stay away from AI as much as possible whenever it comes to research or whenever it comes to schoolwork, because that's your brain's becoming numb doing that. Because you're just having write me a 6-paragraph essay right now.
That'll do it.
Where's the emotion? Where's your brain? Your brain isn't working. You know what I mean?
Where's the love? Where is that inspiration? Like writing inspiration.
Where's the humanity? Where's what's making it different? Like we're losing differences between these machines that can copy exactly what we do, and what humans were known for, what we can do. You know what I mean? I mean, we advanced for thousands of years.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it just seems like we're coming out of hole.
Oh yeah, the last 100 years we just climbed so drastically, and then now we're just kind of plateauing.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong, there's still good technologies coming out.
Absolutely,
but
I'm not disagreeing.
Not to the level of the last 100 years.
I mean, 80 years ago we were on the moon. You know what I mean? Or
was it 80 years?
Was it 70?
It was back in the 60s and 70s, right?
60s. So,
and we haven't been back.
China went back.
Well, supposedly.
I mean, I don't know.
I hear they're mining the backside of the moon, but I don't know.
They'll do whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the curiosity and the need to understand the unknown. Sometime you're going to have to be okay with not knowing, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to have to be okay with not knowing, because if you don't and you dwell on it, it's going to overtake you.
Right.
It's going to overtake you, and like, I'm not saying put your tin hat on or whatever, but it's going to overtake you. It's going to take you down further and further down into these rabbit holes. Like conspiracy theories, I love them.
Absolutely.
But I don't let them overtake my life. Like I try to be aware to the point where it's not going to alienate me from others. And, I wouldn't say, I don't really care if people think I'm weird on stuff, but I enjoy talking about some crazy stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's good communication.
For sure. And it's just, it grows our brains. I feel like what you said, we dwell too much on things. Right now I'm reading a book. It's it's for, what's it called? I don't know. It's about a lot of things. And my teacher who gave it to us said, oh my goodness, excuse me. He said that in life, it's all going to blow over. So what's the point of dwelling on what's going to happen now? He was talking about it today, and he was like, oh, I mean, 5 years ago, we had a moment where we thought the world was going to end.
Oh, it happens every couple of years.
Literally. We always, not even just as a society, like we personally have issues that we'll think like, I'm going to die in like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Maybe not necessarily seriously or like my whole world's ending, you know, but you're going to feel those emotions.
Yeah.
And what happens a year later and you're just chilling.
You're still alive.
Exactly. You know, just let everything blow over. Yes, it's wonderful to be curious, but if you let that consume you, like you're saying, you're not going to grow. You're not going to.
You're going to stay in the same place. You're going to dwell into a dark place normally.
Exactly.
And you're going to isolate yourself.
Exactly. I feel like that's one of the big reasons that so many people are divided nowadays, because they're so isolated and they're so dwelling
They're in their bubble.
Exactly. They're so dwelling upon political views, upon opinions, upon things that need to be banned, what don't need to be banned, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
We dwell so much upon our own little bubble around that. We don't focus on the other side. We don't focus on the middle. We don't focus on anything other than just what we personally believe.
Yep.
Which is the biggest problem overall.
We're not communicating and experiencing people anymore.
Absolutely.
We're sitting in our bubble, and you're 40-year-olds sitting in their mom's basement on their computer on social media, trolling everybody off of their views. And you're not actually communicating.
Absolutely.
You're not having real debate, and people don't have real debate anymore. Because they are so hard-headed and they want to stand firm on their ground.
Absolutely.
They have no room to move.
Absolutely.
No room to move.
I mean, I want to bring up like Charlie Kirk. I mean, regardless of what he would talk about or whatever, he was one of the best debaters I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Unarguably. If you agreed with him or he didn't, he knew that you had a side to say and he was going to let you talk. That's what we need to do in debates. We need to let people talk. We can't just like, as soon as we hear something we don't like, jump on it immediately. You know what I mean?
attack
We need to sit here and we need to listen to what they're saying. Give yourself a moment to process that, not while they're talking, because there's important things you need to hear. Because the more you're gonna sit there and you're gonna dwell on it, you're not paying attention to what they're saying. Maybe you're gonna miss out a whole point that they're explaining that could possibly give you the answers you're looking for. But you were so focused upon, I didn't like what he said, or I didn't agree with that. Exactly.
You get triggered and you sit there, and like we've talked about in the past, you're not listening. And you're literally thinking about what you're going to say, or you're interrupting the person that is talking.
Exactly.
You're not giving them the time or the respect.
Exactly.
Yep. And you're never going to change. Never going to change.
You're never going to learn.
Never going to learn. You're never going to grow. Yep. Yeah. And I wrote this down. Like it kind of goes along with it. Being aware doesn't mean that you have to be isolated or alienated. The difference between seeing the problem and carrying the whole world is the weight of it. So your awareness should connect you to people, not separate you.
Absolutely.
It should literally connect you to people. Yeah, people they're not going to always see eye to eye, but we've already said it. Perspective is a good thing.
For sure.
That's where you're going to grow. That's where, people should bring people together and build real relationships, even if you don't agree with things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's, one of my best friends, like, I don't always agree with what he says, and he doesn't always agree with what I say, but we literally still have a good relationship, and we respect each other.
Absolutely.
And we listen to what each other's going to say. Yeah.
I agree.
But we're not always on the same page,
right.
But we have that good communication, and we don't let emotions take over.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, in the Bible, it talks about, if you know the knowledge of God, why not spread it? You know what I mean? There's so many people that could get salvation, and you're not spreading that around.
Yeah.
Use the same thing with your daily life, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can share your skills. You
exactly.
can like we've talked about this too. Like you have a toolbox of experiences and things you know how to do. Why not share it with other people?
Exactly.
I mean, now I struggle with teaching. I'm not great at teaching, but I'll show anyone how to do something.
Right.
Like come over and watch me do something.
Right.
Me trying to explain it to you is a little harder for me. That's just me being I'm still growing, obviously, but I'm a little more impatient when it comes to that stuff, and I just want to get it done. That's like, Tonight dinner, right?
Right.
Your mom told your sister, go do the dishes.
Right.
Well, we've talked about how I like the kitchen.
Right.
What did I do? I went over and I started cleaning just because it gives me kind of a peace, and it gives me a peace of mind on not breaking my routine.
For sure.
But I need to get better for sure to ensure that I can pass on skills. And I know that's something small, but it could be anything. It's like fixing cars or building buildings or literally anything.
Putting together a website, putting together stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I wanted to bring up patience, because patience, I mean, even in the debating phase, and in the educating and stuff like that, you need to be patient nowadays. That's one thing a lot of people are missing nowadays. Just overall the patience to just sit there and let things happen sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't just sit there. I understand. I mean, I have my moments too where you just want to jump the gun on some things. It's completely understandable. We all have that motion. We have that urge. We all have things we want. And we see it and we're like, we could get it right now. But sometimes we just need to sit there and we need to wait. We need to wait for things to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with chickens, Chickens. You buy one chicken, or we'll say 3. You need a rooster, a hen, maybe just another chicken, so they don't get lonely.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the moment you get the hen and you get the rooster, and you're like, okay. And you're going to wait a while before the hen starts laying eggs, and the rooster's going to start fertilizing those eggs. But if you just wait, you're going to have 10 chickens by 2 months.
I mean, who knows?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just need to let things grow. You need to let things happen, for sure.
No, you can apply that to anything. You can
Absolutely.
apply that to relationships. You can apply that to your careers. You can apply it to anything.
I don't know a single thing it doesn't apply to. If I'm going to be completely honest.
I mean, if you're doing what you need to be doing, and I've said it before, work hard, have good work ethic, strive towards a goal, and the reward will come and it will show later.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you'll be
scripture, man.
Yeah, you'll be more prepared down the road if you are patient in those times, especially money. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to say I'm great with money, but if you're patient with your money and smart with your money, down the road, you can literally get anything you want. Literally anything you want, and you will have miles and miles in front of people. As far as, you'll be so far ahead of people in the future if you stick with it.
A 401k, if you start investing in a 401k from the time you're 18 all the way up to you're 60, you're already going to have $3 million in your account.
Well, it depends on how much you put.
The interest rate, depending on that. But you can have so much money just by being patient,
Putting a small percentage back every paycheck. And I got lucky. So when I was about 19, I had someone come to me, an old crusty guy getting ready to retire.
Right.
And he said, put money into your retirement right now. You'll never have to worry about it. And guess what? Here I am, 40 years old. I sat down with a financial advisor a few years back. I showed him what I had, and he literally said, you are literally 93% there. If you keep continuing doing what you are doing right now, maybe add a little more investment in the future, you're literally 93% there. Just because I started putting in retirement when I was 19 years old.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and that's a perfect example of patience.
Right.
Yeah. Perfect example.
Yeah, I mean, we even talked about it. It's in English. The book we're reading, obviously we're reading a book in English, but the great thing, he said, great things come in life later. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
He said, just that specific quote. I really thought about it, and I was like, yeah, because like I said, it just brings up the fact of patience. It brings up the fact of just letting things grow. If you just let life live, you work the hardest you can. You stay persistent, you stay hardworking, you stay skeptical, and you just let things grow. You let the good things come to you in life. You will thrive more than anybody else.
I agree. But also I'll put a little note in there. Don't be lazy. Don't be expecting it.
Oh no.
Because if you're expecting it and you're not putting in the effort, it's not going to come. You're going to be waiting forever.
You need to, like I said, stay persistent.
Yep.
If you make a goal, you know what I mean? Make a goal. Find something that can keep you stable,
Always have a goal.
Exactly. Always.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like make enough money to pay for groceries next week,
That's a goal.
That's a goal. Just make goals in life. He said, another thing he said was in persistence, the best way to stay persistent is to just make small obtainable goals reaching to that bigger goal. You know what I mean?
Sure they align to the bigger picture.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that quote. I say it all the time. You know how you eat an elephant? Small bites.
Exactly.
Small bites, literally. And one of the things that really impressed me, and I've started doing it for years now, is I came in, I was sitting on an interview board one time,
Right.
and someone handed me over a paper with all of his short-term, mid-term, and then long-term goals if he was in that position. And it blew me away. I mean, it might have been like 10 years ago, and it wasn't like something that a lot of people do, but a lot of people do it now. You should do that as just a human being, not even going into, you know, a job interview. You should have that information in your head.
For sure.
Because you don't want to be like literally wandering the wilderness blind. You got to have goals.
Right.
You got to have goals.
And
you got to have them your whole entire life. You can't just stop.
Absolutely.
Like, it's easier to have those goals like when you're younger, because like you've got all the big ones in front of you. You got married, you got career, you got kids, or whatever.
So much life to be lived. You know, you're gonna have so many opportunities for goals, but as you grow older, it starts slowing down. Like you're saying, starts slowing down because you get more into your situations. Exactly, they become more specific. They become more of the path starts narrowing down, but that doesn't mean the path isn't open. You know what I mean? It's always going to be there. It's
still
just
options.
Exactly.
And I think when people are older, it gets worse for them because they don't have set goals, and then that's when potential people maybe start drinking a lot, or maybe that's when they start doing things they shouldn't be doing because they don't have a clear goal. They don't have something clearly to like shoot for.
Right.
And you know, they're like, "Oh, I did it all.
Right.
Now I'm just enjoying," or now I'm just sitting isolated and I fall into depression and drinking and drugs or whatever. And, you know, maybe that's why a lot of people are like leaving their families, right? Maybe they want to start over because they just can't deal with being set in what they have. Maybe that's why people are they're like, oh, well, I could go do this over here because it's better. The grass is greener, right?
Right.
That's what you hear all the time. The grass is greener, but you know what? It's just different grass. And you got to take care of it and start all over.
Right.
Like, you've got a nice lawn over here, but you're looking at this grass across the cavern, and you're like, oh, that looks really good over there. Right. But you get over there and it's just brown dirt or something.
It's just as bad. It just looked better from the situation you were at.
Looked good at the time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's why you got to stay, like I said, you got to stay persistent. You can't just give up just because things seem easier.
No. Things
are going to get harder. It's going to happen, but the situation will blow over. You got to stay persistent through the situation. You got to know that it will blow over eventually. You got to keep working. You got to set those little goals. You know what I mean? You know, you see the other side. You see you see this great lawn and you're like, wow, I could have that and I could just run over to that right now. Or you could really work for that. You know what I mean?
Make your grass greener.
Exactly. That's your grass. You can make it greener. You don't have to look over there and you're like, man, I really like that guy's grass. What if I just do exactly what he did? You know what I mean? Then you're following people and all that. Every single situation, nothing in your life is controlled by anything else other than you.
Yeah. You're in complete control of your life.
Exactly. You know?
And only you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's why, like I said, you know, you have your own grass. You can make it greener. You're the one making it brown. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And sometimes you just got to realize that too. You know, maybe you're the reason. There's things you need to change in yourself why your life seems so terrible. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can change your grass any color you want. Sometimes,
like we said, I think his last episode, sometimes the hardest thing is realizing you're the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Like, really self-reflecting. Stop blaming others and understand that maybe you're the problem. And then, you know, go through and self-evaluate and really see what you can change and make your life better.
For sure.
Because you're the only person that's going to make your life better. Don't depend on someone else, because they'll always let you down. They'll always let you down. It doesn't matter if they care about you, love you with their whole entire heart. But if you expect them to treat you at a level of your expectations, 9 times out of 10, they'll let you down. Because your expectations are always going to be higher than the other person realize what you need. So
absolutely.
Kind of going back to the comment that the viewer actually posted. he put in there that skepticism as a father, is it right for me? And I kind of thought of a question about that. It's like, can you raise a kid questioning everything without making them cynical? And cynical, I mean, is general distrust, trust, and motives of others. Like, what do you think about that?
So, like, can you, as a person, as a man yourself, have a skepticism and question things, and then make sure that your son isn't doing that? I just wanted to double check and make sure I'm hearing that right.
So, like, if you're skeptical and if you have skepticism, and your kids see that,
Right.
like a negative effect of that could be that they're going to be cynical and they're not going to trust in anything.
Right.
It's just like not being open to perspectives and just going down your single path,
Right.
and not believing anybody outside of you.
Yeah, that's something that could happen for sure, but it all depends on how you're doing it. You know what I mean? I mean, if you could label things as skepticism, and in all honesty, you're just isolating yourself. You know, maybe like I said earlier, maybe you're not opening to other opportunities, stuff like that. True skepticism is to just have the ability to be aware. You know, it's pretty much just overall being aware. So maybe you don't necessarily have to teach your kids to be skeptical, don't question everything. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe whenever they get older, try to give them that idea. Try to give them that idea of trying to be fully aware, you know, trying to be question. Not necessarily to where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't trust anything, you know, like I talked about. You don't dwell on things. You kind of just,
And yeah, and you don't have to completely change what you believe and your morals and your values.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do that all the time. Like,
No.
all you have to do is, like, one of the things I try to do is when someone says something good to me,
Right.
or bad to me,
Right.
doesn't mean I'm going to believe either one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's real easy to believe when someone's like, saying, "Oh wow, you're doing a great job," but then maybe step back and be like, "Are they trying to take advantage of me?"
Right.
Doesn't mean you got to be cynical, but it's like, am I really doing a good job?
Right.
Let me reflect on my work that I'm doing. Do I
sure.
feel like I can make some improvements?
Mm-hmm.
And if they're saying you're doing a bad job, I'm definitely going to self-reflect. Doesn't mean I'm doing a bad job.
Absolutely.
They just might not like you.
Right.
But, evaluate what people are saying to you, but don't take it serious all the time, good or bad.
Right.
People are always going to take advantage of people.
Yeah.
But it's a great tool to be able to identify and pass those skills over to your kid. That's what I think. And build a good home. Like, you got to be skeptical.
Right.
You got to be able to evaluate things, because you never, like we've said it a ton of times.
Right.
You got to be able to better yourself, or you got to be able to make sure the people that you're surrounding yourself with aren't trying to take advantage of you.
For sure.
Like, I'm not saying they are, I'm not saying they will, but general human nature is to get ahead of people.
Right.
And they're going to do that, especially in the work life. Like, when you're doing your career, people are going to literally climb over your back to get on the ladder above you.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's just going to happen.
Yeah, they'll step on anything to get up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just going to happen.
I feel like that question to where, you might make your kids cynical. I mean, just as a father, it's important to teach them to be aware, You don't necessarily have to teach them to be skeptical, like I said, but, it's everybody's first time being a father most of the time, regardless, because every single kid's going to be different.
Yep.
You can never really control truly what they're going to think. You can never, ever do it. I mean, I've known people that grew up in a completely Christian household, and they're out doing bad stuff every single night.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or complete opposite. I know people that grew up in a horrible life growing up, and they're some of the strongest Christians I know. And it goes even deeper than that. Just all over life, you're never going to be able to control people. So, I mean, don't necessarily worry about them becoming cynical, because you can't control that. There's a lot of things you cannot control, but what you can control is trying to lead them down the right path. And being a skeptical and being skeptical overall is more of a right path direction if you want them to be able to have the ability to build upon themselves. Because, being skeptical goes deeper than the conversations we have. Being skeptical goes over everything in life.
Yeah.
You don't better yourself if you're not at least,
trying to learn. It's a process.
Exactly.
It's literally it's a process of trying to learn and learn more and learning
Exactly.
in the right way. Like I know tons of people. I know tons of people that have been really, really good people, like people that I have no problem being around.
Right.
Like I really respect them. I enjoy them. They went off to college, changed, completely changed. They came back and they were, I don't want to label the stereotype,
Right.
blue hair,
We are concerned.
nose, septum, nose ring. Like they hate anybody that voted for Trump. And
Right.
like some of I'm just like, where is this coming from? Like,
Right.
yeah. And
I feel like that's, like you said, that's just because they didn't do their own research. They didn't question
no,
their own
they
morals.
followed the bandwagon.
Exactly.
And they didn't want to feel left out. They didn't want to be isolated, and they want to be a part of a group. And, when this is the first group that they come upon and, the majority of the people are talking this way, it's very easy to be not skeptical.
Absolutely.
And just follow the crowd.
Yeah, that's why, like you said, it's why you got to be skeptical. It's the whole point of the show. We have to do our own research. We have to throw it against
Be your
our
own
morals.
person.
Exactly. That's what I was kind of trying to reach to.
Yeah, just be your own person.
Because if you're just overall not really trying to just learn, like being skeptical, the whole thing is you're basically just trying to learn things a little bit better.
Yeah.
Overall, if you're not trying to learn, you're not going to be your own person. You're not going to get your own understanding of anything. You're not going to do this, and that. You're just going to follow things you hear, and you're like, I like that one more than I like this one.
Yeah.
You
Or I saw a video and I think that person's cool. Or this person on social media, I follow them and I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, that's cool. What have you broadened your horizon at all?
Right.
Like you're literally, you're shrinking the size of the world and some of the experiences that you could experience.
So I got to be open.
Yeah. Kind of moving along, on fatherhood. Like, I feel like the responsibility of your child should pull you back from the hopelessness. And then this is kind of following the theme of the comment that we received. You can't fix the world, but you can build a good one in your home. Like you can make sure your home is a safe place for everyone, not just your kids and your family, but anybody that comes in. You can make sure it's a safe space. Right. And we kind of hit on it last week. It really starts with yourself. It starts with yourself. We have to be calm, and you can apply this to yourself too. It doesn't mean fathers. You need to be calm. You need to be curious. You need to be humility. You got to work hard, and you got to have good moral fibers. And, it all goes back to, moral fiber and good at work ethic. And a lot of that comes from your parents. And if it doesn't come from your parents, normally you're going to learn it at a smaller age. So
Right.
I think it's good to be a good role model, but not become internally frustrated. Like, I can get frustrated at times. And I've said, like, I'm not very good at teaching and stuff like that, but I would hope that you would see how I work hard, I have good moral fibers, and I treat people right. Just learn through visual experiences.
Right.
Yeah. And you can apply this anywhere. It can be in your home, it can be in your workplace, in public even.
Right.
And we talked about de-escalation and patience.
Right.
Like it involves de-escalation and patience. You have to be patient or you're always going to get frustrated. The emotions are going to rise, and then a communication is going to go out the door.
Right.
And relationships could go out the door.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. People get in one really bad conversation and, tables are flying and people are going through windows. I mean, that's a normal Sunday dinner back when I was a kid. So,
It's a normal Sunday dinner whenever we all get together.
Yeah. And kind of made me think about it too. Is like, what does it mean to be responsible for someone's worldview? Like, that's also something I figure like parents should be involved with. Like parents, you're laying the groundwork, right? For right and wrong.
All right.
You're usually passing on culture, and you're trying to provide a basic safety for the most part.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying all parents are going to do that, but in general, that's what a good parent should be.
Yeah.
And you kind of talked about educators, right? Educators and your mentors, they should be doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
They're doing intellectual frameworks, right? They're going to give you some of those critical thinking skills.
Right.
They're going to literally pass down culture and history and ideas, and they could be very heavily influenced on young minds.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And the fundamentals and beliefs and values and our interpretation of worldviews. So it's really like if you fall into these roles, it's really, really important. And I mean, even like spiritual leaders, huge responsibility there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you have the influence of complete religious belief and your spiritual beliefs. And, you know, sometimes the purpose of your entire life. So, and then unfortunately I did write down media. I think that's where most people get their world influence nowadays.
I mean,
social media, and they get it off of, you know, their norm, their I guess their channels or their following,
the accounts they follow, stuff like that.
Yeah,
For sure.
But I mean, what do you think when you discover something new and it starts changing your beliefs? Like, have you had an experience like that before?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Recently, I mean, just about something we talked about. Just not following everything that, you know, media is trying to push you.
Yeah.
That for sure. You know, overall, I want to go back directly to the father point. You know, like I said, you can't teach your kid a lot of things because most of the time they're going to go upon what they believe. Because nowadays kids are becoming not necessarily smarter, but like they're becoming more aware very quickly. It's so strange. I mean,
more independent or quicker.
Right. It's crazy. I mean,
I think this is just my view, and I don't want to go off topic, but
right.
I think a lot of them sit down in front of screens and they kind of figured it out themselves. That was the coping mechanism back in the day for kids.
Right.
Your kids are yelling and screaming in public. What do? You give them your
iPad.
iPhone. You give them an iPad. And we did it. I mean, I wish I could go back.
Right.
But I mean, it's not that you're a bad person or you have bad.
No, I've definitely out of that generation. I feel like I'm one of the only ones who are sane enough to be skeptical. You know what I mean? Because I commonly find myself arguing with a lot of my peers, and they're not open to idea necessarily. They're just so set upon what they think and what they hear and the facts that they have researched. But, you know, they're not looking at the side that I'm trying to prove. You know, some of them will. There's some really great people I know that are my age, and they're very good at debating. We're very good at talking with each other. I mean, my best friend, my homegirl, you know, all sorts of people I'm so well at talking with because we're able to openly discuss what we can talk about. You know what I mean?
That's a good relationship.
For sure. It goes deeper than relationships. It's just the best thing I could say for raising a kid is if you can't teach them anything else, teach them how to be open, to be skeptical. That is the most important thing I say.
Yeah.
Just as a kid myself, going over the things I've learned and the consciousness that I have been able to have.
Yeah.
Let them have the ability to be open. Keep them away from technology if you can, or at least social media. Technology's fine, you know.
Yeah.
Social media. I love video games. You know,
Yeah,
video games have grown me up so much. Just it's a community. There's so many good things to come out of technology, but we're focusing on so many bad things because we're allowing the media to take more control and more control and more control over everything. And by the time maybe I have kids, I have to keep my kids away from technology completely because they're trying to infiltrate their brains with liberal or conservative thoughts, you know, like.
No, they are. People
Absolutely.
are so influenced and persuaded as a young child.
For sure.
And it'll get rooted in there and it'll stay in there forever. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying I don't want you to be putting that into my kid's head. Like, let me teach them how to really research it and figure out what they want to believe and not believe.
If anything, just if you can, preserve that childlike wonder as long as you possibly can.
Oh, yes.
Like I said, that's what as children, we're skeptical of everything. That's the whole reason we go against our parents because we're like, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Let them, not necessarily let them rebel against you, but try to keep them open-minded. You know, give them, you know, you can work on discipline. You can work on all that as much as you can with physical things, but The whole mental game, everything that can keep them with the best head on their shoulders is to just be open. And like I said, keep them away from media. You know, maybe watching like old movies. You know, movies are fine. Technology's fine, like I said. But
Just unfiltered social media.
exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Not even that. Don't even allow them to have social media for a while. You
No,
know what I mean?
I'm
Until
saying
you-
social media. Period. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Just keep them away from opinions. You know what I mean? Not necessarily that they can't form their own, but let them form their own. Let them have the ability to form their own that comes off of their research, you know?
Yeah, I
Allow them-
think a lot of that deals with like you don't have the experience to really understand those situations.
Right.
Like you're talking about stuff that kids are looking at and seeing nowadays. They have no clue what they're looking at or seeing.
Exactly.
They have no clue because they've never even experienced anything in life, hardly.
Exactly.
So, I mean, experience is where you get a lot of perspective and you can actually evaluate and clearly, like a clear mind of coming to a decision.
For sure. Yeah.
It takes experience.
Oh,
You're not
absolutely.
you're not gonna be able to. I'm trying to think of an example, but like,
I mean, a good example is just you're supposed to provide that experience.
yes. Let me provide a safe environment for you to understand and experience that.
Right.
Like, one of the things we talk about at work all the time, the best way to train is in a safe environment where it's okay to fail, where you can clearly see your mistakes. You can see the root cause analysis on things and you can go through and evaluate and better yourself. And guess what? And then you can repeat it in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
You don't want someone out there in the real world experiencing and that they have no, or trying to go through something they have no experience on
Right.
and potentially could fail. Like in some jobs, it could mean death. Now, most jobs, no, but it could mean you get fired.
Yeah.
Could mean you went through all your college degree and all your training and you've done all this stuff. And guess what? You made a mistake and now you're getting fired.
Exactly. And I mean, it even goes deeper than that. I mean, it brings people to judge, you know?
That's true.
If you're making up mistakes, people are like, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. Like, they're just like,
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're literally
people will be
gonna
so quick to judge.
they're gonna judge you. They're gonna pin that on you. They're like, oh,
Absolutely.
well, that's the guy that doesn't know what he's doing, and they're not gonna take you seriously.
Yeah, and it goes. I mean, teach the people, teach the kids, teach everybody to just failure's okay. It allow them overall failure.
Needed.
Failure is needed so we can grow. I mean, it comes with that skepticism. We can have failure in our own opinions. We can opinionate on things that the facts are completely wrong.
Yep.
But if you can openly accept that and be like, yeah, I mean, I messed up, you're gonna grow so much more than the person staying in that, knowing they're wrong. Some people know they're wrong, and they stay there just because they like it more.
Yeah.
If you're able to understand that, yeah, I was wrong, you're gonna be able to grow 1,000 times more than that person could ever.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote it down. I literally said, once you see something for what it is, you can't continue to ignore it. That's willful ignorance.
Literally.
That is deliberately choosing not to learn or acknowledge a problem and avoid personal discomfort or responsibilities.
Right.
It's complacency. It's indifference. Like unconcerned lack of a response despite of being aware of the situation.
Right.
And, it's like selfish, self-deception. You're literally trying to ignore it, but you're only deceiving yourself and, not really dealing with those feelings or motives or the situation itself.
Right.
Like you just, it's really irresponsible. And, what you're willing to ignore is something you're willing to accept.
Exactly.
And that's a dangerous road to go down.
I mean, it even goes down to like doing wrong things,
Yeah.
If you are continuously doing something wrong that you know is wrong, where are you putting yourself? You know what I mean? It's the same thing with info, opinions, the same thing with everything. Like you said, just willful ignorance is just, it'll kill you so fast. It'll
kill your conscience.
literally.
Yeah.
It's just,
You make small bad decisions. Small bad decisions are easy.
right.
Like, perfect example. I wasn't a great kid, right?
Right.
I was struggled as a kid. One of the things me and my buddies would do was we would literally skip school and go out and we'd steal stuff from retail stores.
Right.
And the first time I did it, oh man, it was just like I was so nervous, I was sweaty and all that stuff. But guess what? We kept doing it. Kept doing it. Got easier. We took bigger stuff. And then I just had no moral fiber against it. Like we were just stealing stuff all the time. Never stole personal stuff off of people like that. I did draw that line. And you could say, well, that's dumb. You still stole. But it was only main stores, like retail stores.
Right.
And guess what? I got so confident in it. One day I stole something and I got arrested. And it put me in the hole, thousands of dollars, because I had to deal with the shoplifting and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I was under the age of 18, so it didn't stick with me.
Right.
But I'm telling you, like, willfully ignoring those situations and the things that you know you're doing bad, it will literally tear your conscience right out of your brain until the point where you just don't hear it anymore.
Right, because, I mean, at that point, you have no morals.
Yeah.
You are not running off of morals. You are running off of desire. And that is the most dangerous thing as a man.
Desire. Yeah, 100%. You hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah, dude. Desire can be such a beautiful thing. I mean, you look at Kobe. That dude desired to be the best. And, I mean, still was. He's a legend. I love Kobe. One of the hardest working human beings ever, in my opinion. Yeah, desire can be such a beautiful fire. But if you get so close to it, if you become too comfortable with that fire, it's going to burn you.
Yeah. I mean, you got to put that desire in the right way. And, if you're compassionate about something and you're actually working hard towards it, I don't think that's a bad desire.
Right. That's like using a fire to
cook a piece of meat.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean you can stick your hand in there and you're not going to hurt it. Like,
right.
Like, I don't know. I don't think that was a great example, but still, it works.
I think it's a good example. I'm still working on. Yeah. Examples have never been my strong suits.
That's all right.
One thing I've never been good at. I don't know why. Because the same thing happened today, dude. I was trying to give an example. We were talking about sports. Mm-hmm. We went off the definition, and it was like a single or a team competing to win or something like that. That's a pretty basic definition of it. And we were talking about it, and they were like, professional shooting is a sport. And I said it wasn't. I'm not saying like overall it's not a competitive thing and it's not like something that people work to win for. I just said personally, sports, in my opinion, are more of like basketball, like football,
team sports.
Right, team sports. Not this who could become the most accurate at shooting a thing 200 feet away. That's pretty cool.
I disagree. I mean, I still think it's a sport because they're working hard towards a goal. It's just you're competing against a single person or yourself versus your as a collective team.
Right. I don't know.
It's still a sport.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not.
Apparently breakdancing is a sport now. You see those videos on the Olympics?
That's real?
Oh, that was real, yeah. Breakdancing in the Olympics, like it's crazy.
They're just throwing anything in there nowadays. I mean, I guess they've been doing the same thing.
They want to give everyone a trophy, but I don't know. I've seen some sick breakdancing.
I have too.
Yeah, I like watching those beatboxing videos too. Cool. Some of the stuff they do with their mouths are nuts, but
yeah, that's kind of Diddy. Calm down. No.
Yeah, I noticed that as soon as I said it. But anyway.
No, I mean, like, yeah, I understand that. I can understand why many people would consider it a sport. But yeah.
So kind of moving along, the philosophy for the week, and I wrote this down. You can't protect your kids from the world. And you kind of said this. You can't protect your kids from the world, but you can show them how to walk through it in their own eyes open. And one of the perfect examples that I said, and I say it all the time, is like, I can give you everything to build your ship, but you got to bring it all together and make it float and sell into adulthood. Right? I say that all the time.
You kind of also have to teach me how to build that ship too.
I do.
Yeah.
But in the end, you're gonna build your own boat and you're gonna float out into your life.
For sure.
And I just hope and pray that I've given you everything. Like you didn't miss a really important part and you sink real hard. But I don't think so. I think you'll be great.
I think I will too. I'm going to be great.
You're going to do great things.
Yeah.
Great things.
Lots of money.
So that's about all I had. Do you have anything else that you would like to discuss before we kind of wrap it up?
I don't think so. No, I mean, I feel like we've had this episode was very productive. I feel like we hit the nail right on the head for a lot of things today.
Yeah. And so just kind of going to that, like whoever left that comment, like you're not crazy, like you're awake. Just keep using that awareness as fuel. Don't use it as fear. And don't forget, skepticism is not about being right. It's about being real. So
it's about just not necessarily, like you said, not being right. It's not, I mean, even being real. It's just being aware. Just
being aware.
Exactly.
Be
just be
real.
aware of things around you. Don't necessarily question. I mean,
doesn't mean it's going to isolate you.
Right.
Like I guarantee you, someone else will come in your life, and fill that gap. And the other person, they'll know they made a mistake if they really appreciate that relationship.
Yeah, or maybe they'll just be completely open about it. You know what I mean? Just
it's okay to disagree.
Right. Completely okay to disagree. It's just how you deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How
everybody deals with it.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for this week. I had a great time. We're two generations. We're sharing a lot of the same ideas, and we continue to have completely different perspective, like we've been talking about. We encourage you guys to continue to be skeptical, but do your research, and just follow your morals, your wisdoms, and keep experiencing life.
For sure.
Don't get stuck up on things. Don't dwell. Be patient. It'll come. Work hard. But definitely thank you guys for watching. We thank you guys for listening. Like, subscribe, continue to share the videos if you're out there, and give us some more ideas. Give us some more ideas.
Yeah, leave as many comments as you want. We don't care, man.
Yeah.
We'll bring everything up if we could.
We will. I mean, one day, hopefully, we'll have a whole show of nothing but comments.
I'd love to do that, man.
Yeah. It'll just be interesting.
Yeah, we want to answer questions. We want to discuss things, That's the whole point of this show. We want to discuss things. So
and I want to learn.
Yeah, I want to learn too.
Maybe see new perspective.
For sure.
Yeah.
No dumb questions on this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. No dumb questions.
No dumb questions.
No dumb questions.
No facts.
No facts here. It's all opinions.
All opinions.
All right. We appreciate you guys. We'll be putting out another one next week, and just continue, hopefully, doing life. Do it the right way. I mean, be skeptical. All right. We'll see you guys.